All right. It looks like we are live, I think. I don't know. So if you guys are watching later on, so obviously there's nobody here just yet, and this is obviously a smaller channel. I'm only really doing this to test out this camera, this webcam that I just got for live streams. If you guys have seen any of my live streams in the past, majority of my live streams were always done, or not majority, because I've only done I think like 2 or 3 of them. I always just did them via my phone, my iPhone, and I was using Streamlabs. And the last time I did a stream here on YouTube via Streamlabs, yeah, it was, let's just say it was not great. It was not fantastic. So what ended up happening was that after the stream was uploaded, hey, what's going on, my friend? After the stream was uploaded, there was sadly some like massive delay, and there was a part of the video that was literally, I don't even know how to explain it, but half of the video was off of the screen, and then it like ended up readjusting. And so obviously the only reason I was actually streaming through Streamlabs before was because of the fact that for some reason you can stream on YouTube with a webcam, but you can't stream on YouTube via your phone unless you have 1,000 subscribers. It doesn't really make sense to me. I feel like if I can understand if the flat out rules you couldn't stream until you had 1,000, but either way, yeah, so let me know how this camera's looking. Does it look nice and crisp and clean? I see Q Review just said crispy. What's going on, my friend? What's going on? Carlos, what's going on? Mr. Blue, appreciate you guys stopping by. Yeah, so I just got this new webcam because the laptop that I'm using is a little bit dated. It's a little bit slow, so hopefully it ends up looking good and ends up not being too, laggy or anything like that. But the webcam, yeah, I needed a new one because the webcam that's a part of this laptop is atrocious. It's terrible. It's a horrible, horrible camera. It's crazy because the laptop is not that old. And I'm sure you guys know laptops tend to get slow a little bit quicker than your typical PC do. Or PC does, and that for some reason the webcam on this laptop that came with it is terrible. It literally looks like something that was off of like a flip phone from back in the day. I appreciate the feedback, one average person, and cool. I'm glad to know that you guys can hear me and everything's going well. I appreciate you guys stopping by. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of test this out. I figured I'd just sit here. If you guys have any questions or anything to ask me, feel free to shoot that down there. You just kind of want to talk about movies or whatever. I don't really know how long I'll be on here, but I'm in no rush, so I'm just going to chill out. And part of the reason that I'm kind of like not savvy with any of this, and I don't even know if I've really talked about this on this channel, is I only really use my phone to YouTube. I film all of my videos on YouTube, including my vlogs and all that, and I edit it on iMovie right here on my iPhone. And I really don't do much YouTubing on the computer, so I almost feel and do all my thumbnails and everything on my iPhone. So I typically never use this kind of stuff, but I know that I want to start doing more live streams, and I didn't want to have to go through Streamlabs or StreamYard or any of these other things. I wanted to be able to stream straight through YouTube because I figured this would be the best way for you guys to get the best quality streams and a better way for me to kind of keep up with the chat without it being in the way. When you do Streamlabs on your phone, it's super weird because what I thought was happening was that you guys were seeing it the same way, and thankfully it's not the case. But on my side of the thing, or on my side of the stream, on my phone, I would just see right over my face nonstop like messages like the ones you guys are typing. So yeah, I think this is gonna end up being a lot cooler. I'm excited to start streaming a lot more and kind of just be able to upload content where I can just kind of sit back and chill with you guys and talk about random things. So I'm gonna look into the chat now, see what we got going on. Let's see. I'm glad. I appreciate, first of all, thanks for all the feedback, guys. I really do appreciate it. Mr. Blue says, okay, I just finished watching the first season of the anime series Blood Plus, and I think you should review it. You might like it. Oh, I'll look into it, man, for sure. I haven't really done a lot of anime reviews here on this channel, but I love anime. It's something that I remember growing up with a lot of the American popular animes, not American animes, but animes that were really popular here in America. Your Dragon Ball, your Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Sailor Moon, all that jazz, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that jazz. But as I got older, I started to fall a little bit more in love with it, and that's all thanks to some really close friends of mine. So specifically this one friend of mine named Tavon. He got me and a bunch of our friends in our circle into a bunch of One Piece, into a bunch of anime. And I was going to mention right now that my favorite anime is One Piece. It's a super long running, over 900 episode show that is absolutely beautiful. And it starts off a little slow, started in the late 90s. So there is this kind of dated element to it, but the fact that the story is still going, and I've shown it to so many people and people just get so locked into it. Such a great show. So that long-winded answer to say, yeah, I'll definitely check out Blood Plus. I haven't heard of it, but I appreciate the suggestion. What did I think of the teaser for Halloween? Honestly, dude, I thought the teaser for this new Halloween movie looked a lot better than the last movie. I haven't reviewed the last Halloween movie. The third film titled Halloween, that's technically a sequel to the original Halloween that already had a sequel, but this one erases that one. Super confusing. But yeah, I liked the tone. It felt really dark and creepy, and there was that whole sequence with them like in the car, like screaming in the back of the car. And Jamie Lee Curtis is just so awesome. She's such a great actress. So to see her coming back to this series has been awesome, even though it's not the first time she's technically come back. But I like the new tone and feel that they're going with this. So I'm excited. I hope it's good. Just accepted my boy Chris. SpongeBob or Patrick. I think as a protagonist or as the main character of a show, SpongeBob is fantastic. But Patrick brings me so much laughter because he's just so silly and dumb. And I'm finding that those are the characters. This is gonna make me sound bad, but I'm finding that those are the characters that like I relate with the most, and not because I feel like I'm dumb or anything like that, because they're just like silly characters. And when I'm watching a show like SpongeBob, that's the character that I think that I want to see more often than not because I want to laugh. Lately, I'm actually have a review for it coming out very soon. But my girlfriend Haley and I have been binging all of Bob's Burgers. I used to love Bob's Burgers when it came out, and then I just kind of like fell off of keeping up with it. And then I realized that I had only watched maybe like the first 3 to 4 seasons, and there's currently 10 seasons, and the 11th season is coming in the next couple months. So my girlfriend and I decided we're just going to binge all of it. It's been everything that we've been watching when we're just chilling, when we're having breakfast, when we're eating dinner. Bob's Burgers has been like part of my life in a big way, except for some movies I've been watching. I actually just recently, the other day, watched the first Nightmare on Elm Street, so that review will be coming very soon. But yeah, what I was going to say with Bob's Burgers is that Teddy is kind of become my favorite character in that show. I love Bob, I love Tina, and all these characters everybody loves, but Teddy reminds me of Patrick. He's just so ridiculous, so over the top. I love these moments where like he's just so dumb and things can go completely over his head, and then there's these moments where he's like, I don't want to say wise, but he's kind of like realizes that something's wrong or something is an issue, but then he takes it to this next level that ends up getting all the other characters into some shit. And I love that about Patrick and Teddy, and I just find that I'm loving those kinds of characters. Mr. Blue says Jamie Lee Curtis is straight up badass, a badass in everything she is in. Definitely, man. Honestly, I love Jamie Lee Curtis from everything, like from Halloween and roles like that to something like I don't know, A True Lies or even Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan, the remake. I really enjoyed that back in the day. I just find that anytime she's in anything, even when I see her in a commercial, I really enjoy her. There was a period of time where I was watching these YouTube videos from Variety, I think it was, the publishing company. Why couldn't I speak right there? Variety, they're really popular as far as releasing news on movies and entertainment. And they have a YouTube channel, and I believe it was them and GQ. I can't remember which one it was, but they have like a series called Actors on Actors. I think it's Variety. And yeah, she's been in a couple things like that, and I love seeing her just. Even if I just see her like in a podcast or just kind of like a discussing with other people kind of situation on camera, she just has such a cool charisma about her, and I just really enjoy her. So yeah, no, I definitely agree. Salvador Mancha says Patrick all day. Yeah, for sure, man. Patrick is the best. And by the way, I don't think I've ever asked you. Salvador is actually a good friend of mine from back in the day that we actually met on the exact same app that no longer exists that I met my girlfriend on. And my girlfriend was just like Salvador, one of the many friends that I made on there. And then, Haley and I ended up clicking in a very special way. But Salvador, I don't think I've ever asked you, or, I think I've always just called you Sal. But how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Mancha? Is it Mancha? I'm going to assume it's Mancha, but I'm curious. Just accepted, my boy Chris. The Office or Parks and Rec? I'm going to say The Office as an overall. I think The Office has a better. You know what? I'm gonna say The Office based on preference. But what I am gonna say is I think, and I haven't gotten around to reviewing those series on this channel yet, but what I think for me is that The Office is damn near perfect all the way up to, spoilers coming if you guys have never seen The Office, but all the way up to Steve Carell leaving the show. I think that final episode of his is damn near perfect, and I think that if they ended the show there, that it would have been it would have been great. The whole thing with him saying like, You know, like I think it was like a moment where like the cameras are kind of off of him, or he doesn't think he has the mic on him, and he's kind of like, oh, I wonder if I'll see this air one day, you know, because it's supposed to be this mockumentary, this documentary. I think it was such a great ending. So I just shake the table. Sorry. I think that the next like couple seasons, I think there's like 2 or 3 more seasons after that. They were good. I enjoyed them. I love those characters. So the antics and the adventures they go on, and the very finale, I think, was beautifully done. I think they really brought it home in a beautiful way. But everything with Andy, like becoming the boss and then going off on this venture, it sometimes felt a little like all over the place. Whereas I would say that Parks and Rec, though it's not better than The Office for me, I think Parks and Rec has like a more cohesive just set of seasons, and that last season is just a really solid season that kind of brings all the characters back in a really great way and kind of gives them really solid resolution that I don't think The Office did just as well as Parks and Rec. That's just my opinion, though. I could see people loving either which one. And then Benny Kenobi says, your new camera looks good, bro. Thanks, man. Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to be filming reviews on here. And I'm curious for you guys who are watching, is there like a delay at all? I am very curious. Is there a delay with my words and my mouth? I would definitely want to get that feedback, because on my screen there's a slight delay, but that could very well be just because I'm streaming and I've never streamed on the computer, so I don't know if there's a delay like that. So let's see. And then Chris says, favorite show bloopers to watch. Favorite show bloopers. You know, I'll be honest, I don't really watch too many show bloopers. What's it called? Hold on. I'm so sorry, guys. My mom just texted me and asked me if she said she couldn't hear anything, but based on you guys responding, I'm going to assume you guys can hear me. So my mom wants to watch me on YouTube. Thanks, Mom, for whenever you watch this. What was I talking to you about? Favorite show bloopers. I don't really know that I've watched too many show bloopers specifically. I watch a lot of movie bloopers, and that's just part of like my favorite thing about buying Blu-rays. I think I've spoken about it here on the channel before, but I love having a digital library. Like whenever I buy movies, my buddy Benny Kenobi, who's in here right now, if you guys haven't checked out his channel, give him some love. He is like the king of like, number one, he owns like a shit ton of movies, but on top of that, he also has an abundance of digital codes, and is always giving away digital codes. And what's it called? And yeah, so for me, I'm a little too selfish. So when I get movies, I instantly put the digital code onto my own digital library, and I love them for the convenience factor of not having to get up. And if I need to watch something on a plane or something like that, hey Mom, how's it going? My mom just commented in there. But when it comes to physical copies, it's something I love so much. And now a lot of digital content is doing that as well. If you have like the digital code, you can put it on. It comes with bloopers. It comes with the behind the scenes. So I watch a lot more of those, I would say. Anytime I get a movie on DVD or Blu-ray, for the most part, I will look to see if there's some sort of Blu-rays or behind the scenes, or not Blu-rays, bloopers and behind the scenes, and I'll watch them there. So I don't know if that answers your question, but as far as show bloopers, I have seen some for The Office and Parks and Rec, since you brought those up, Chris, and those are always a really good time. Okay, cool. Mr. Blue says, yes, there's a little bit of a delay, but not too big. And Benny Wan says, not at all. So, cool. So it's not too bad. Let me see. Just accepted it. Need your opinion on this. If a person is riding a scooter, are they a scooter? Why would you ask me this? If a person is riding a scooter, are they a scooter? I mean, I guess it depending, if you want to play a game of semantics, yeah. But I would say technically they're not a scooter if they're riding a scooter, but I guess you could say that person is a scooter because they're scooting. I don't know. I don't really know what you want me to get at with that, but I'll say that they're not a scooter. They're not a scooter. Cool. So if you guys have any more questions or anything you just want to talk or whatever, I'm just going to be chilling here for a little bit. I have a new review coming very soon. Speaking of which, I've been a little slow in the reviews in the last couple weeks, and honestly, I'll be just completely honest with you guys. It's really mainly because I've just been in such a gaming binge lately, and sometimes I want to film myself and film stuff for the channel on gaming. I've been really slow to keep uploading my Star Wars Battlefront 2 series where I was going to go through the campaign, and that's just because when I tend to game, the same reason I don't really do reactions to various things that are going on. What's it called? Like various, new trailers, stuff like that. I typically don't do that stuff simply on the fact that I just feel like whenever I watch trailers, and maybe some of you guys can relate, I tend to kind of just like watch, you know what I mean? Like I don't really have a reaction. There may be moments, like when the new Star Wars trailer came out or something like that, like where I just kind of have like chills and I'm like, woo! But for the most part, when I watch stuff, I'm pretty stoic. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty straight face. And then I'll have so much to say and a big reaction right after. So same way when it comes to video games, I haven't really been doing stuff like that. But yeah, that's part of why I haven't been uploading reviews as much. I just recently finished my replay of Kingdom Hearts 2, the final mix, or so 2.5, the final mix. Great game to go back and revisit. I hadn't played it since like genuinely in quite some time. Like back when it first came out, like 2005, I think is when it came out. I played it for years after that. But I want to say it's been at least over a decade since I had played Kingdom Hearts 2, and being able to go back and revisit it. And I hadn't played the point 0.5 part of it, where they brought back, or the final mix element of it, where they like brought in the Japanese content that was never released in the US versions of the game. So that was a lot of fun. I know I'm just giving these long-winded responses, but I'm gonna figure it out. No dead air, no dead air. My mom says, I don't see any delay. Episode 388, they reached the red line. I can't watch anything else. So my mom is currently watching One Piece that I just recently mentioned a second ago. It's an anime, and it took me a long time to get my mom into this, specifically because I told her that she needs to watch it in Japanese. I personally just feel like the Japanese version of most animes is superior, but specifically with One Piece, I feel like it just the voice actors in the Japanese original version of the show are just phenomenal. And anyway, so it took me a long time to get my mom into the show because the first part of the show, like I mentioned earlier, is quite slow. It's a little bit dated, and now she's finally getting to where not now. She's gotten there already, and now she's deep in it. But yeah, she finally got to where it was really good, and then she was hooked. And I got my mom texting me about watching this anime, and I love it. You know what I mean? Like it's something I never thought would happen, but I'm super grateful that I can share this kind of stuff with her. Mr. Blue, who is not on a gaming binge? Mafia 2, all-time favorite video game. Mafia 2 is a great game for sure. I've definitely enjoyed that game. I haven't played that in quite some time too. I think there's if I'm not mistaken, isn't there like a remaster coming out or a remake of the first Mafia or the second Mafia? I can't remember which one it is, but yeah, man, I always game. I game a lot. So if I'm with my free time, I'm usually watching something, filming something, editing something, or I'm playing games. And just in the last like week and a half or so, just come home and I've had videos like ready to edit, and then I'm just like, and I know that I can shell out the edits very quickly. Like I'm pretty quick when it comes to editing. If I have a unedited video that's, I don't know, anywhere between 10 to like 13 minutes, if not more, I can typically in about an hour and 20 edit the whole thing, have it uploaded, thumbnail and all, and be set to go. But then some days, like in the last week, I came home with instant like thought process of like, gonna just take a quick shower and hop straight on Xbox and play something. So I will be uploading a little bit more. I currently have my review for Saw 2 ready to get edited and uploaded. So if you guys are a fan of the Saw franchise, I will be continuing that now. And then I will be having a collab review coming up within the next few days with my boy Rashad G Reviews. We'll be reviewing Mars Attacks, the 90s Tim Burton cult classic that is definitely an interesting film with a really crazy star-studded cast. You got Jack Nicholson, you got Pierce Bronson, Sarah Jessica Parker, Natalie Portman, Glenn Close, so many others. Really fantastic cast. I'm excited to talk about that movie. You guys can look out for that very soon. Just accept it. Better question. If Pinocchio said my nose is about to grow, what would happen? I have no idea. That is a very good question. If Pinocchio said my nose is about to grow, I'm going to put that question out to everybody. If you were watching right now, if you're one of the 7 people watching, just comment down below. What do you think would happen to Pinocchio? If he said his nose is about to grow. Is he lying? I don't know. It's a very good question. One average person says, favorite Spider-Man actor. All right, so here's what I'll say. I think that initially, before Tom Holland came out, I always was on the side of saying that I think that Tobey Maguire is a better Peter Parker, and I still think Tobey Maguire is the best Peter Parker. He really, I feel, for me, even though like when you look at Tom Holland, he's such a great like actor, and he's done such a great job of making this fun, youthful Spider-Man that we never really got to see. That now we're getting in these movies, but when it comes to Tobey Maguire, I think that he plays that dweeby Peter Parker that I used to just love watching in the old animated series. My mom raised me on the old, like late 60s Spider-Man series, the classic Spider-Man theme song. I own the whole collection, and it's a series I've watched in its entirety multiple times. And I always just loved that really just dweeby Peter Parker. So I love the way that Tobey Maguire plays Peter Parker. As far as Spider-Man, I think that Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire. But now I think Tom Holland has just completely just nailed it with his Spider-Man, where he's able to be that quippy, fun, lighthearted Spider-Man, but and also have a lot of heart and a lot of depth, and still be kind of dweeby in the mix of it. So I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but I think Tobey Maguire is a better Peter Parker. Mr. Blue says, favorite teen movie. Mine are The Breakfast Club and Edge of 17. I mean, those are great options right there. I don't know what my favorite teen movie would be, to be honest. I don't think I could really narrow it down. I don't know. I honestly, I know that's a really terrible answer, man. I'll say The Breakfast Club is a good one. I'll definitely agree with that. I'll say one that pops off the top of my mind right now, just because I'm actually looking to review it very soon, is, and you said The Breakfast Club, is the latest Power Rangers movie. It was a movie that came out, I think, 2016, 2017. I can't remember. And yeah, that movie, I had a lot of fun with it. And it was essentially Power Rangers meets Breakfast Club. So if you guys haven't checked that out, I'm going to be reviewing that very soon. But yeah, I'll say that one for right now. But I don't know what my favorite teen movie of all time would be, to be honest. My mom says that she can't watch those. I'm assuming she's referring to Saw. I'm going to make my mom watch Saw. One of these days, Mom, you're going to watch Saw. All of them. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I actually recently sat my mom down to watch all of the Chucky films. She'd never seen Chucky. If you guys have been watching this channel for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of Chucky. Just super over the top cheesy horror, right up my alley. She also said, yes, Mr. Blue, Breakfast Club is one of my faves. Yeah, my mom loves Breakfast Club for sure. Mr. Blue, not sure what would happen to him. I think he is being honest, so his nose would not. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very good question. I don't know what would happen to his nose. I don't know why I wasn't able to read there a second ago. Let me see what else. Less Than Zero is also an amazing one. Love Robert Downey Jr. since he was a kid. Yeah, that's a good one too, for sure. Emily says that she loves me because I know the good stuff with these horror movies. Yeah, man, horror is just, it's funny. In the last little bit, and tell Emily I love her too, but in the last little bit, I found that I think horror is outside of sci-fi and fantasy, which are easily my favorite genres. I find that horror is probably my right after that, because you have this genre that you can have a very limited budget to, and in a lot of cases, the smaller the budget, the better the movie turns out. Where it doesn't really. Sometimes it can feel big, and there's big horror films, and a lot of times they start to feel a little schlocky, a little cheesy. But what I love about horror is that you can have a film like Evil Dead from back in the day with Sam Raimi, where it has this the low budget feel, and the camera work and everything. You can just feel that within it. And sometimes the lower effect budget, or the lower budget effects, sometimes make the film feel kind of a little more gross, a little bit more grimy. I think that's part of why I think that the first Saw movie is probably one of the best in the franchise, if not the best. That's arguable. But what I love about it is that it's like the horror is able to do some really, really cool things and be very effective with very little, just very few actors. You can have it be set in a house, and at the same time, because horror is so cheap to make, you get a lot of garbage. You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of like the downside to horror, is that you can get a lot of trash in horror because they're fairly easier to make, in the sense that you don't need as much, whereas you can't make like a low budget Avengers film. You know what I mean? You can, but it's never going to compete. Whereas like you can have horror films. A good example of the last few years for me, and is the movie Don't Breathe. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. I can't remember the names of all the actors in the movie. It has the guy who's the villain in Eivotor, and there's a few other recognizable faces. But yeah, it's about these kids that go to break in, these teenagers. They go to break into this guy's house, and he turns out to be like this old war vet, and he is blind, and they're trapped in the house with this guy who's blind. And it's a film that conceptually is very simple. There's really not a lot going on. And it's really based on tension, and the premise alone is tense. The almost the lack of it being so grand is what gives it this level of tension. I love that about horror in general. So yeah, I think that horror can be some of the greatest things when it comes to Stephen Lang. There you go. Stephen Lang is I think he's a great actor, and he did a great job in that movie. But yeah, there's so many movies nowadays that I just feel like when horror is good, look at a movie like Get Out as well. You know what I mean? Like the budget didn't have to be phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the movie takes place in one location, and it really comes down to clever writing and a sense of making you feel uneasy. I feel like a horror movie is at its best when you feel creeped out, when there's a sense of unease within you, and that you have like these very specific moments with characters that make you feel attached to them and what's happening. I love that. And then you can have things like Chucky or Friday the 13th that is over the top and cheesy and fun, and it's horror. It's not terrifying. It's not like you're scared of it, but it's still solid. After having actually just watched the first Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time in quite some time, I had a really, really, really good time with that movie. And I think that when you look at this, just me personally, I think if you look at Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, and Chucky, and look at their first movies in all of their franchises, I think that Freddy, without a doubt, has the best one because there is that sense of unease. There is that cheese, and there's that, that it definitely is of its time. But I think at the same time, Freddy is so creepy. The concept around it is so freaky. The use of practical effects are so well done. The performances can be a little cheesy at times, but at the same time, the mix of practical effects and just everything feeling very like claustrophobic is what makes that movie so awesome. And I think it's what makes horror movies in general really, really great. Mr. Blue says, Don't Breathe was the ultimate suspense thriller. Yeah, I totally agree, man. When I saw that movie in theaters, I was sitting there and like you can just tell in these moments where there was no sound, where there was very, very light things going on, very, very light, subtle sounds, or just the characters like panting, or like very, very light panting, trying to hold their breath. I was holding my breath just watching the film, and I know I wasn't alone. You could just feel the tension across the audience, and that's honestly some of the best stuff. Honestly, for me, it's like there's the best movie theater experience that you can have is going to see a movie like a Star Wars or something like a Marvel movie. Going to see I remember when The Force Awakens came out, or like Revenge of the Sith back in the day when that came out, or even something like Avengers Endgame, when you're in these theaters and everybody is just losing their mind over these moments and the music and everything like that. Those things are beautiful. But I would say that horror, when you're in an audience and the whole audience is feeling tense and everybody has this level of uncertainty and discomfort, oh man, those are the best movie going experiences. And you don't have those nearly as often because nowadays a lot of horror, like I said, is just kind of like it can be. There's a lot of horror, and so some of it can be good, and some of it can be bad and laughable. I feel like that was a super long-winded response, but well, who cares? My mom says I love the original Amityville horror movie. Yeah, great movie. Another one. Just again, the ambiance, the atmosphere, the setting, the dialogue, the moments that characters go through, the music, everything about that movie is what makes it scary, without it being too grand. You know what I mean? Mr. Blue, Evil Dead 2013 was just a gore fest film. Gore fest films are good sometimes, but they can be over the top and unrealistic. Get Out to me was odd. Us was scary to me. That's funny. So Get Out is definitely odd. I remember when I reviewed Get Out that you actually told me that you weren't a crazy fan of it, which is totally cool. If it wasn't your movie, that's fine. Us, for me, wasn't as scary as Get Out. I felt more tense watching Get Out personally. Us has some creepy elements, don't get me wrong, and I liked Us a lot. If you guys see my review, I did talk very highly about that movie. But at the same time, I wasn't crazy about it. Evil Dead 2013, I actually have not seen that movie. It's one of those that just kind of went under the radar. I knew that Ash wasn't going to be in it, and that it was going to be a reboot. And then I heard that it was like this gore porn film, and I don't mind very gory films. Obviously, I like the Saw films for what they are. So maybe I'll definitely check Evil Dead out eventually. But sometimes when I watch those movies nowadays, I'm able, as you guys have probably seen in my reviews, I do my best to kind of stay very I try to stay positive. I try to stay positive about movies because the way that I see it is there's enough hate and enough negativity on movies online, and which is fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I feel like for me there's always something positive to talk about in a movie. So when I watch gore films, I at least try to praise the practical effects, because in most cases those films that are really gory have really good practical effects. And then Mr. Blue also said that he likes the original anime horror. Yeah, definitely, man. One average person, which one do you think is better, Joker or Logan? That's a good one. I'm gonna say that think that that's tough. That's really tough because here's the thing. What Logan is something that Joker can't be, right? And what I mean by that is that Logan is not only a fantastic standalone Wolverine film that is very dark and gritty and got this R rating and there's tons of language and it stands out amongst the rest of the X-Men films, specifically anything that had Hugh Jackman in it as Wolverine. But what I love about Logan is that it's able to really focus on this character and give us a beautiful, in a way, in some ways I'm not perfect about it, but it gives a really great send off to this character that means something in the midst of a very contained story compared to the other X-Men movies. Um, but it's also a send off to this character that you have nostalgia for, connection to. I was a kid when those first X-Men movies came out, and I loved X-Men growing up. But I was a kid, super excited when those movies were coming out. So the first X-Men movie, the second X-Men movie, the third one, I loved those movies growing up as a kid, and I watched them so many times. My mom can tell you, I mean, I watched those movies so many times. And so I feel like that attachment I have to Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Wolverine being one of my favorite, if not my favorite, X-Men characters. I think that just being able to see how the justice they've given that character on screen has been beautiful. So I think that film has a lot more impact and a lot more weight behind it than I think Joker does. Whereas I feel like Joker on its own, you may be able to say is a better film, but I think that's going to be totally subjective. I think that Joker does a great job of introducing us to a new character that we know is going to become the Joker, even though some people would argue he's not technically the Joker, which he's not. You know what I mean? Like he never becomes the clown prince of crime, the sinister, maniacal, just I'm coming up with these crazy plans in the moment, has everything planned out guy. It's a story about a guy with mental illness and the one bad step or the multiple bad steps and bad days that led him down this path of darkness. I love the Joker. If you guys have seen my review for it, I really love that movie. So I have nothing but positive to say. So this long-winded response, I think Joker in some ways is a better movie, but I think Logan is more rewatchable and it hits home a little bit more for me. Just Accept It. Favorite Just Accept It episode. Shameless plug, my friend. Yeah, if you guys have not checked out Just Accept It, check out all these channels that are down here that are commenting for sure. But Just Accept It, good buddy of mine, Chris, I actually did a vlog earlier this year at his wedding. Him and his wife, Emily. I was one of the groomsmen, and yeah, so he has a channel where they do a lot of gaming content. But I think, without a doubt, dude, my favorite Just Accepted episode has to be the one that you and Emily did together. Not the most recent one. I actually haven't been able to watch that yet. It's in my watch later. I'm ready to go check it out soon. But the one that you did where it was like you guys were playing, like, I think the headphone game, dude, I watched that with Haley, and I was dying of laughter. I have to say it's probably my favorite one. Mr. Blue says, Dr. Sleep was a movie that gave my girlfriend nightmares. We do never to talk about it again. I love Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep was great, man. And I saw that movie the same day that I was showing The Shining to my girlfriend for the first time. And I hadn't seen The Shining in a while, so I rewatched it. We ended up doing a double feature review together that night. So literally finished watching The Shining maybe about an hour and 15 before I saw Dr. Sleep. And man, what a movie. I really love Dr. Sleep. I feel like Ewan McGregor was phenomenal. I felt like it was such a great follow-up to The Shining. For it to be a sequel to The Shining from years before, you know what I mean, and feel like a great continuation. Everything from the way the movie opens, the reusing of the Shining music, that score, and revisiting some iconic locations in a way that felt like it wasn't trying to use it like as a nostalgic thing. It was using it as something that I felt was compelling and connected to what was happening, and felt like it was honoring that first film. Yeah, I truly really did love that movie. My mom says maybe I should get you to watch some of my '90s horror flicks. The one hit wonders that Abuelo recorded on VHS, like Hell Night with Linda Blair. That was a pretty good movie. I've actually always heard of Hell Night and never seen it. So, like I said, 1980s. Okay. But I would be interested to check out Hell Night because I have heard about it. I want to revisit The Exorcist as well. It's a movie that's always freaked me out visually and just conceptually. But I want to revisit that at some point too. And then my mom says, did M put a face mask on him too? I'm referring Oh, she's talking. They're talking to each other. Okay, cool. But yeah, I appreciate all the questions, guys, and being a part of this. I appreciate you guys stopping by and giving me the feedback. There's only 4 people watching right now, but I had 7 earlier. That's all that matters. And usually, what I realize with these live streams is that people start to watch later on. As the streams go on, like maybe like a day or 2 afterwards, people start to watch. So I try to do my best to try and just keep in mind that that's what's going to happen. But I appreciate all the feedback here, guys. If anything, I think I might start wrapping this up shortly or in a bit, unless anybody else has anything else they want to ask or comment. If there's any movies you want to request that I check out, please do. What's it called? I recently posted on my Instagram that I got a new tattoo. I went to 2 sessions so far. I'm starting my character leg on my left leg. I recently just got I just got Venom, Chucky, Stitch, Joker, and Jack Skellington tattooed on my calf, around the entirety of my calf. And then the next time I go in, I'll start coloring it. Right now, it's just outlines. So definitely excited to get that done. I was going to start making videos of the process of it, but I think I'm just going to show you guys a video once it's all done. I'm really excited to get this leg done, and you guys can find that in my Instagram. It's TheAA Perez on Instagram and on Twitter. And Chris says Skellington. Yeah, that's what I said. I said Skellington. I'm pretty sure I said Skellington, didn't I? If I didn't say Jack Skellington, then I'm a failure. But I'm pretty sure I said Skellington. I don't really know that I would say skeleton when The Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorite movies of all time. Entertainment Fanatic Reviews. Hope I am not too late, dude. I mean, you're not necessarily too late. I was talking about ending in a little bit, but if more people keep commenting stuff, I'll just show because I got nothing really to do. If I get off, I'm probably just gonna go edit my review for Saw 2. Oh, you're the fool. Yeah, you're right, Chris. I knew I didn't say skeleton, or that I didn't say skeleton. Skeleton. What's it called? And my mom says I have a huge surprise coming for you. Thanks, Mom. I'm excited. Text me about it. Tell me what it is. I don't like surprises, so just tell me. But yeah, I'm really excited to get this tattoo leg done. I have so much more I'm gonna do to it. I'm gonna completely tattoo the whole left leg, and then I want to get back to tattoos in general. I started, and the last tattoo I got was this one, like 6 years ago. That's like a skeleton hand holding a microphone with some fire around it, and I got that because I used to sing in a band. I don't really sing as much anymore. I want to get back into singing, but I haven't really been singing in quite some time. But yeah, that's why I got that one, and it's been like 6 years since I got it, and so I was really excited to get started on some new tattoos, which have easily become my favorite. Let's see. And oh, by the way, Chris, I totally did not see your message. I love you too, bro. I love you too. HH Night Reviews says the picture seems really good. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. For anybody who's interested, it's a very, very small. I got it for like a little over $20 or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but here's what it's called. Eivotor. Anyway, it's on Amazon. Got it for like a little over $20. I knew I needed a new webcam so I could do stuff like this, so I'm glad this was a success. And what's it called? Yeah, I'm pretty hyped on it. It came in this little small box. That's all. It was a very, very simple. Just a manual, the box, the stuff it was wrapped in. I plugged it in. It instantly installed into my computer, and here I am talking to you guys. So it worked out. I'm pretty happy about it. So I'm glad you guys stopped by. My mom says, send me his information. I need my Leia tattoo. Yeah, my mom wants to get a Princess Leia tattoo. If you want to get it from the same guy, his name is Fuzzimus Grimes on Instagram. I could just send you that information later, Mom. But for anybody interested, Fuzzimus Grimes. Yeah, he's a really great he's a great tattoo artist. I'm really excited to do more work with him. I'm really excited to see what he'll do with this. He's very color poppy, very vibrant artist, and that gets me really excited. HH Night Review says, do you have any microphone recommendations? I might need to get something to attach to my camcorder for outdoor recordings. I honestly don't know, man. I'm so sorry. I'm a terrible, terrible YouTuber in that sense. And what I mean by that is I was talking about earlier in the stream that I don't really I don't do anything really on YouTube via the computer or webcams all that often. I usually use my phone. So every vlog, every video, even the Supercut videos that I've done recently that you guys had a lot of positive things to say about, those videos were all done and filmed, edited, recorded, everything, blah, blah, on my phone. And I just, I just do it all from there. So this venture of buying this webcam for this is kind of like one of the first things I've actually invested in as far as trying to make the channel a little bit better, because I want to do these live streams a little bit more often. I just feel like it's a great way for me to engage with you guys. You guys see me in the videos, and I'm saying my what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're gonna be talking about SpongeBob, and the video ending and me going like bye bye, and then me questioning if I should still say bye bye or not. But that long-winded response to say I have no idea as far as my recommendations, dude. Right now, I'm hoping the audio of this sounds pretty good. I don't know if it's using the microphone on the camera or if it's using the microphone on the actual laptop. But usually when I film, I just film via my iPhone. So luckily, my iPhone microphone has been pretty solid, so you can't complain. And my mom said, "Found him. Thank you." Yeah, you're welcome. He's a really good tattoo artist, and he's let him. If you do contact him, Mom, let him know that I sent you. I can always contact him for you if you want, because hopefully that'll help me get some love from him later on. All right, guys. So unless anybody else has anything else to comment, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Feel free to comment anything. Also, I did not mention Entertainment Fanatic Reviews, who commented about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 comments ago. He and I just did a collab review over on my channel. It's my latest video, before this, where we reviewed the 9th film in the Friday the 13th franchise, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. One of the most unique films in the franchise, without a doubt. I won't spoil what we thought about it there, but definitely go check that out if you guys are interested. And yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys all for stopping by. If nobody else has anything else to comment, I love you guys for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I thank you guys so much for the consistent support here on the channel. Some videos do great, some videos do okay, some videos are booming. So it's really great too to see that some of you guys are going back and watching older content that I posted months and months and months ago. So it's nice to know that some videos that I almost feel have become forgotten, not only to me but to others, are still getting love. So I appreciate all of you guys for watching, genuinely, whether you're watching this now, whether you're watching this when it's not live. I will be trying to do this more often. So whether you're watching this now or you're watching it later on, definitely leave some comments. Let me know what you think of this whole live stream setup, and I'll definitely be looking to do more of this in the future. Super, super thankful to all of you guys for continued support. My mom says more face mask. Maybe I'll do more face mask here on YouTube one day. If you guys don't know what she's talking about, one of my latest uploads was also that I let my girlfriend put a face mask on me for the first time in my life. And yeah, we were a little tipsy while doing it, taking some tequila shots. So it made for a very fun video. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you guys again for all the continued support. And I will see you guys in the next live stream. Bye-bye. I think this will end it right now. All right. Well, my bye-bye was a failure, but all right, later, guys.